Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Got a great show lined up. We'll get started with weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. I was telling Tommy, he's over here with me now, we got a cool snap coming in. It's only going to get up to 77 today. A low of 61, and water temperature remains at 71. So good weather and all, but let's look at our river readings. The river's still, we're talking about Apalachicola. It started dropping out, but it's still high. It's at 8.6, and the Choctawhatchee is reading, it's going to make a big drop for the weekend. Right now it's at a 7.3, and it's dropping on out by Friday night and Saturday morning. It's going to be down about 5 foot, so you're going to fish in falling waters if you fish in the Choctawhatchee or the Apalachicola this weekend. Of course, we got a little bit of rain yesterday, so it may affect the Choctawhatchee some. It may not fall out as quick. Now, let's take a look at our tide chart. Okay, tide is brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemeteries when carrying counts. We're looking at a low tide at 109 this morning. We've already had the low tide. Tide's coming in all morning. It's going to come on into this afternoon at 3:02 and then start falling out. Got a good 1.8 foot tide right there, and it's going to be some good movement right there. Our marine forecast will be coming out of east at 10 to 15 today. Out of east at 10 to 15. All right, every once a week we'll try to get a hold of Captain Blair Morgan for Blue Water Outriggers report, the fishing report, and outdoor report down on the east end of our viewing area. Good morning, Blair. I'm doing good, buddy. What's going on down there?
Well, the wind's blowing.
Well, it has never stopped blowing, I don't think.
It's been on 6 weeks it's been blowing.
Wow.
And, it's just, I don't know. Like you said, southeast, 8, 10 to 15 again. So, I don't know. But the fish biting, there's plenty of trout, redfish being caught. And, pumping off the beach, but the wind's just really been a hindrance.
Yeah, it's hard to get out of the boat. I was down there last weekend, but it's really not bad surf fishing right now. And like I say, the pompano biting good.
Yeah, they're doing good. I went offshore Sunday. The seas were supposed to be 1 to 2. It's more like 3 to 4 when I got out there. But we were going out trying to catch some black sea bass.
Yeah.
We caught some pretty gas grouper. Of course, we can't keep them over here. And the red snapper aggravating still. So cleaning them's coming around.
Well, they're endangered, so you got to be careful with those red snapper.
Yeah, I know it.
It's amazing having people catching red snapper.
Yeah.
What about anybody doing anything on the river yet?
No, the river still, it hasn't got back down to the right level yet, about 8 foot or 7 foot, something in there. When it gets right, it's staying up high.
Yeah.
We're getting all that rain north of us, and it's just really not dropping down too much.
Okay. All right, so if we're going to fish down on the east end of our viewing area this weekend, what would you recommend?
Well, Apalachicola Bay is good for trout and redfish, and St. Joe Bay is real good. Or, if you want to surf fish, just go surf fishing.
All right. All right, Blair.
I hadn't heard the wind forecast for the rest of the week.
Well, I think it's going to be windy. I know one thing, you can fish that canal up around the T and all, that'll be out of wind in a little bit.
Yeah, you can kind of get out of it up there.
Yeah. It's sort of limited is what you can do, though. All right, buddy. I appreciate that report.
Okay.
We'll see you, Blair.
Bye.
All right, man. All right, let's take this break. We'll be right back with our guest. Hi, welcome back, and I think you recognize the two familiar faces here, Tom and Daniel. Good morning.
Coach.
Good morning.
All right.
Get all this shaking going
We old
on.
Kramer Chevrolet guys and outdoorsmen in their own right. So, guys, what have y'all been doing the past month? I know you got some good fishing reports.
Got some good fishing reports. Listen, they've been biting up at Deer Point, Lake Wemico.
St. Joe Bay?
St. Joe Bay.
Yes, sir.
Got a lot of trucks on sale up there at Bill Kramer Chevrolet. 14s are going to be here in just days.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm watching every truck when they come in just to see if we've got the first one, We're such a large dealership. Come on down and see it, man.
Yeah.
Give us a call. We'll let you know. We'll give you a call when it comes in. You can come on down.
Daniel, you mentioned St. Joe Bay there. I know your dad lives on St. Joe Bay, sort of just like Blair and all.
Yes, sir.
And has he been doing any fishing?
We caught some Spanish mackerel Saturday afternoon. Trout's been good. The Spanish have been good. The pompano have been awesome. I haven't caught any pompano, but I've heard stories, and you and I talked this morning about some that were caught. Flounder. It's kind of a smorgasbord of fish right now in St. Joe Bay. Whatever you want to catch, they're there. Flounder, trout.
Tommy, I know you mainly bass fishing and all, and we talked about that big bass. Of course, the moon phases and all this time of year has a big effect on bass fishing. You have a big tournament coming up anytime soon?
Yep. Just today. Let's see. Yeah, I got about 13 days till I leave.
Counting the days, huh?
Counting down by the days, because I got to get all that tackle ready to go. Because when you go to one of those big ones like Logan Martin, the BASS Southern Tour, you have to have so much stuff, because when you get there, you don't know what they're going to be doing. So you got to have a little bit of everything. So I'll have that.
Which lake you going to be on?
Be on Logan Martin. This is the last of the Southern Tour in the BASS, and so I'm looking forward to seeing who I draw and who I get paired up with up there.
Whose mother did you sell a car to the other day? BASS member.
J. Todd Tucker, who fishes professionally, been fishing for the last 10 years or 15 years. He sold his mom a new car the other day, and she gave me his phone number and told me to call him. I called him, and he gave me some pointers for Logan Martin, because BAS has been there before and he's fished it. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope it pays off.
You just brought up a good point. If it's your home lake, you're in good shape and all. But if you're going somewhere else, it's good to talk to someone else who fishes that property. And
yeah, absolutely.
I know some guys go down to Okeechobee and all, and a group of people do that, but they always talk back and forth some places to go in Okeechobee.
Tommy had a guide trip the other day. He guided a trip right from his office. I've never seen anything like it.
On the telephone.
On the telephone. A guy from Georgia called him and said, "Tommy, I need some advice." And Tommy said, "Launch here, go here, throw here." And he called him back, and
15 minutes, he sent me a picture back of about a 3-pound bag.
Well, that's pretty good. You might be in wrong business. You might need to go to guide him.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
Well, look at here. We're going to take our break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Here with Daniel Raphael, Tommy Barnes from Bill Kramer Chevrolet. We're talking some fishing and all, and we're talking about big bass. And I recycled this picture that Stan brought last month. You haven't seen the pictures yet, and this is that 14.4-pound bass. Wow. And that's something.
Ooh,
that's huge.
That is amazing, and it they called it, tagged it, and released it, and that would go. We talked about the trophy catch on FWC. That would be the Hall of Fame catch right there.
That's right.
That'd be one you'd call Mom about.
Yeah.
Definitely take pictures of it.
I've never made that phone call.
Have you? If you were fishing for a trophy bass, how would you do it?
Old big bass like that, I'd have to throw a big worm, a big jelly worm, or a lizard.
Yeah.
I know they'll hit other stuff, but old big fish like that's not going to move quick, and it's going to lay around and get as much bang for his buck as he can. And you throw an old big worm by him, he's going to figure big, slow moving, black June bug. The color of water that is looks like June bug water to me. But of course, 90% of the water I fish is June bug water.
Well, that's in a river right there, but we're talking also up in these sandhill ponds and different lakes and all. There's some big bass.
Absolutely.
Big bass there.
Gap Pond is where I've gotten 3 of my biggest bass through the years, over 10 pounds out of Gap Pond.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it was I caught one at about 8:30 one morning. It was like a Thursday morning. I went back the next morning at about 9 o'clock in the same place and caught the second biggest one I've ever caught.
Really?
And caught them both on June bug, fishing about 12-pound test line, Gap Pond. I just put in there at the main landing there in Sunny Hills and went right around to the middle, where the middle cut is, where it goes through 2 ponds tied together. Right there in that grass is about 6-8 foot of water. And right now, you could get your string stretched up there.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Daniel, you mentioned those trucks and all coming in. I know a lot of outdoorsmen like those trucks and all. And when they come in, y'all gonna let us know and everything, or?
What we'll do, Coach, is when we get those trucks in, and what I'm being told is we should have them by the end of this month, and we're getting 2 of them. And what I'm also being told is they're already sold. That's kind of the big hype right now. This, Chevrolet and GMC about every 7 years we release a totally new body style, and this one is unbelievable. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't been online, looked at it, you need to, because it's a beautiful truck. I told somebody the other day they'll probably cease production in every other truck market in the world when this one hits the ground. I mean, it's beautiful, and we'll let you know. We'll bring one up here, maybe do a walk around or something with it, and let you show your viewers.
That'll be nice.
Just remember that we've got some great deals on those 13s. For you that don't have to keep up with the Joneses and have the latest and greatest thing, you want to save a bunch of money, you can save up to about $8,000 right now. And Bill Kramer on a brand new Silverado extended cab.
I had a guy yesterday pull up, Coach, in a 2010 truck and some problems, and I said, "Hey fella, you gonna trade in your truck?" He said, "Well, I don't think I can get what I want for mine." I said, "Well, come with me." And we sold him a brand new truck, saved him about $12,000.
Wow.
With his rebate and his equity, so he was happy.
Folks don't think, that's one thing about the car business. You never know what we can do until you come up there and see us. You can sit at home and speculate, or you can talk to your neighbor, but your neighbor's not in the car business. They don't know how to work the figures and everything, get the financing that you need and so forth. The market is excellent right now on used trucks.
Yeah.
So come on down and see us.
I stopped by the other day. I was in the neighborhood and just stopped by to see you guys, and I was talking to Jack, and we had a good long talk about, just future really looks good here business-wise. And people are really getting some nice vehicles, and they're getting really. He was telling about how they were getting such good money for the trade-in.
Absolutely.
That's what every one of them just. You mean you're gonna give me that kind of money?
The market's good, and General Motors is excited about the upcoming year. We're redoing the whole dealership. I mean, we've spent a lot of money between Mr. Kramer and General Motors on really getting everything where we can service the customer even better.
Yeah.
So it's going to be great. We're excited.
Okay, well, they're one of our loyal sponsors, and we like to have them on and all. We like to talk about outdoors and trucks. Seems like we always have the same conversation, but it's just that's a big part of our lifestyle.
That's it.
Let's take a look at on Saturday now of this week now. If you get a chance to fish this, either go to weigh-in or even make a donation for Franklin County High School for their project graduation. This is a really big deal. It's going to be down at White City. And it's going to be from Safe Light till 3 o'clock. Have the weigh in there, but $2,500 first place, and it's a good fundraiser. Goes to a good cause. It's project graduation. You know what they do? For those of you not familiar with it, when a kid they will graduate like on a Tuesday night or something, in the old days they'd go off in all kind of directions, a lot of times in an unsafe manner.
That's right.
And this project graduation, what it does, it just brings them all together back at the school. It could be at the gym, or I know at Moser we're going to do it. We used to do it in the gym and all, but and most schools do a place like that, and keep the kids all night long. And pizza and ice cream and games and
door prizes. We had ours at Centennial Building.
Okay.
And Port St. Joe. And there ain't no telling how many lives that program has saved.
Oh yeah,
over the
there's
years.
no doubt in my mind. And like I say, the door prizes. These kids, they put their name in a hat, and about every 30 minutes they draw nice door prizes. Yeah. I mean, some of them got a cruise last year.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I think I got a VCR.
We got a VCR. So so anytime you get a donate, and when somebody says project graduation for your local high school, just rest assured that it's going for a good cause and all. And those kids stay there at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So it has saved a lot of lives.
I'm going to tell you, Franklin County has been good to me and Tommy at work. And those people, that area, they're just good folks.
Yes, they
Franklin County, Gulf County, that whole area, of course, but they really took care of me.
When we started doing the show and all, we always put a lot of emphasis here on Panama City and other counties, but we really sort of got down into Franklin County and Gulf County and Weewall and Carabel, and we've got a great viewers audience down there.
We have a great following and some of the most loyal customers. I mean, they send all their friends. I've sold sons, daughters, sisters, aunts, grandmas, and we appreciate you.
Well, the fascinating thing about a place like Carabel, and I mentioned over and over again, it's the last of the real Florida. You don't have the condos down there. You have that old waterfront, you have those docks down there, and great people, the third and fourth generation fishermen down there. And it's just, if you ever want to see the real Florida, how it used to be, And of course, I don't know how long it'll last, but Carabel is the last real Florida.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful. It's kind of like St. Joe Bay around there. You can get some places St. Joe Bay just untouched.
St. Joe Bay, and we talk about, the stump hole down there has always been a big subject here, whether it's going to wash through or not. Got the big rocks and all, but the clarity of St. Joe Bay, it is so clear. I guess because you don't have a lot of big rivers running into it, but it's amazing. I know your dad grew up on it. You grew up on it.
Yes, sir. I grew up on it. It's really a magical kind of place, and you tell somebody that's never been there, you explain it to them, they look at you like you're silly. Because you're explaining something they've never seen or never heard before. They heard of it was in some story. And they come and they say, oh, my Lord, you're right. St. Joe Bay is just beautiful. We're in scalloping.
Well, speaking of scalloping, somebody asked me about that the other day, and we'll be doing a scallop count. Probably not this month, probably the first part of next month, we'll be doing a scallop count, and we'll let y'all know and all. But this year, the pattern stays true. It should be a good year. Last year was a little bit off, but this year should be outstanding. But it's a special place down there.
It is.
Okay. Let's take a final break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's get started with our fishing game forecast for this segment right now. Our times right now brought to us by Mark Coward on Edgewater Beach Realty, 832 for 6,000 on Carabel to Destin. Give Mark a call on any of your real estate needs. Tommy, what's our times for today?
Hey, we're going to be 6:55 to 8:55 a.m. and then again tonight at 7:21 to 9:21. So, hey, all you early morning risers, get on out there. The fish are going to be biting when you get there. Stuff's going to be moving, eating. And then tonight, as soon as you get off work, get to the house, get that boat hooked up, and get to the lake. Because, hey, there's no better time to catch them old bass. It's right there at sundown. And that's about 7:30, you're going to be right on the money.
Hey, you guys getting off work early enough to do that? Y'all working?
Well, we fishing tonight at the restaurant.
Right.
Okay. Folks, let me read this quick email before we get back with Tommy and Daniel. I got this last night. We get all kinds of emails, and I appreciate each one, but this is a funny one, okay? Mr. Winston, my name is Tommy. I haven't watched your show, okay? I haven't watched your show yet. What kind of fish have you caught? I have caught a ladyfish, a bass, snapper, and a catfish. Please write back, and I will watch your show. Is it on channel 7 or 13? And what time does it come on? I am in the 4th grade. Hope to hear from you, Tommy. And last night I emailed Tommy back and told him that was really good, for 4th grade. That's a good number of fish he's caught right there.
That's right.
Ladyfish, snapper and all, but it's good to have all kind of viewers and all. Even though they haven't watched the show, maybe he'll be a fan one day. We're on Fox 28. Okay, so hope to hear back from you.
We talk a lot about kids going fishing, and that's just thank goodness for fishing. And my daddy, I'd probably ended up in prison.
Well, I was proud of the school up in Youngstown, up at Waller. They had an outdoor night about 2 weeks ago, and they had part of the parents up there and had the kids. I loaned some of my fishing stuff from Outdoor Ed, and they just had the best time. It was a big hit. Grilled some hamburgers for them.
Wow.
I wish all the schools would do something like that.
They should.
Because some of the times the family's not quite intact, and you have to get another family member to help out and all, and that's good. And we all know how good the outdoors is for.
Absolutely.
We just sponsored the kids on Panama City Beach. The Jaguars. Was it the Jaguars? Football club?
The Dolphins.
Dolphins football club.
Beach Dolphins.
And everybody from dealership donated $100 that worked there. And we were able to put those kids back in pads and put them back on the field for another season. So that was exciting.
Yeah.
And we were happy to do it.
Yeah, it's amazing how how much we give. As outdoorsmen, how much we give, and it's not that we want credit for anything. It's just something that we want to do because we know how it helps them out.
Yes, sir.
Well, you get a kid, you teach a kid how to fish, and show him how to hunt properly, how to use a gun, how to use a weapon, how to use a bow. You take him out there and teach him young like that, and I'll tell you what. You're going to keep that kid off of drugs. You're going to keep that kid out of trouble. You're going to keep that kid out of prison one day, because he's going to be too busy out there hunting and fishing. And tell him when he gets that age, go down and get a proper fishing license, hunting license.
And teach them good ethics on outdoors and all. We talk about that, about how to act at a boat ramp and how a couple of weeks ago I was fishing, catching a lot of redfish, and this guy came up and fish. Y'all saw it on fish right. He threw his line right in our hole where we're catching them, And he had 2 little kids with him. And I told the guy I was with, I said, now what that man has done is taught those 2 kids it's okay to jump in on top of somebody when they catch a fish.
That's right.
You know, when you talk about that, Coach, that reminds me years ago. I was up at Deer Point Lake one day, and I had found a bed, a nice shellcracker bed, and I was up in the reeds there, and I had my boat turned where I, you know, I was between there, and had my poles out and everything, and I had a guy had watched me across the lake over there, and I was pulling them, you know, and catching them, and here he come, and he just came right on up there and just pushed his way up in the reeds right there, and I thought, you know,
that's
if you want them that bad, here they are. You know, I done got enough. I'll let you have them.
We've been talking ethics on about outdoors. I said I was going to do a show on it, which I am going to do a show on it. I have some people in and all, but we sort of, each one of my guests, I mentioned it yesterday with Chris Paxton, and it's the same situation here. It's just good common sense, good courtesy, and people are losing that.
You know, a lot of tournaments, and I know that in the professional competition, you know, you can bump boats with each other, but when you get to that final day of the tournament, if you're in the lead, then there's a kind of an unwritten rule that you back off and you let that leader have that water. If you're 6 or 8 pounds behind, there's a real slim chance of you catching that big of stringer that last day, but you're going to hinder him from going ahead and winning. And in a lot of tournaments around here, we have a 50-yard or 30-yard rule. If the guy's got his trolling motor up and he's got his, power pole down, well, don't crowd him because he's got a spot that he's found.
And that's a good rule. 50 yards, I like 50 or 100 yards. Same way with scalloping,
go around.
Same way. Don't.
In St. Joe Bay during scallop season, some of these folks, and they don't know any better. That's how I like to think about it. They should.
Think the best.
They don't mind running right up on you.
Oh no.
With your flag, and you got your kids in the water and wakes pulling, and just kind of shake your head.
So we're gonna work on that. We're gonna talk more about that, between now and the summer and all, and do that, guys. We've run out of time.
That's a good time. It's great.
All right, y'all go sell a truck.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to it.
All right, folks. Appreciate y'all watching the show. Now, you make sure you do something good for somebody. God bless.
Come see us.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.